So this is a video that you guys have been asking me to do, and now that I'm over my vetiver slump, yes, I did have a vetiver slump. I was kind of like bored of vetiver, but recently I sampled a lot of new vetiver fragrances and I kind of back on track and really enjoying vetiver again. And now that we're in the fall and also moving into winter where it rains and I find vetiver to be really great under the rain, I decided to go ahead and put this video together. In fact, there's going to be two videos focusing on vetiver fragrances. This one is my top 10 classy vetiver fragrances under $75 ranked, and then the other one will be more of a niche collection of vetiver fragrances. No top 20s, we did that earlier. So if you want to find out these 10 fragrances that are classy vetiver fragrances that are under $75, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time tuning in to the channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways and still haven't subscribed, please click that subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Yes, that's right. You guys have been asking me to do an inexpensive vetiver fragrances video. You know who you are. I don't remember exactly who these names were, but I've received several comments in the past asking for this video. So now that I am over that vetiver slump, yes, I got bored of vetiver for a brief time. I just was kind of like overwhelmed with vetiver. But I put together my collection of vetiver fragrances and I went through the prices, and this was recently checked on the discounters. So all these fragrances are very, very inexpensive. So there's 10 of them, and there's actually flankers of one another in this video as well. And I tried to get as many as I could under $75. And we'll start off with number 10. And number 10 is the vetiver fragrance that got me really enjoying vetiver fragrances. In fact, it's not Guerlain. Guerlain was one that I had worn, but it was several years prior, many years prior, in fact. But LALIQUE ENCRE Noir, the Eau de Toilette, is the fragrance that got me into enjoying a lot more vetiver fragrances. So this is a fragrance that you can find currently at the discounters for about $24, $25 in a 100 ml bottle. Very inexpensive, under $50, in fact under $30 because it's really, really inexpensive. Discounters have lots of quantities of this one and you can get it. And if you like vetiver, this is definitely one to start off with. But I featured here at number 10 because I'm kind of bored of it. I do like it because it has vetiver, cypress, cashmere wood, musk. It's a straightforward, darker, more inkier take on vetiver. And a classy one. It's very classy for men to wear, and women can wear it as well. This is targeted to men, but there's no gender with fragrances, I feel. But this is vetiver in general for me leans more masculine than feminine, and of course this is a very masculine offering. And at number 10, as I said, it's LALIQUE ENCRE Noir Eau de Toilette. So this next one is from the house of Banana Republic. It's Linen Vetiver, this one right here. Now this one is a fresher take on vetiver, and to me it also goes very tart, like it's a tart take on vetiver. Whatever citruses they have in here, they have the bergamot, and then of course they also have vetiver, iris, petitgrain, and musk. So I think it's the petitgrain and the bergamot together, and it acts very tart and a little sour. And then there's a vetiver, the earthy vetiver in there, and it has some light powdery irisy touches, and it does have a great musky dry down as well. So it's a nice one. It just, for me, I think it just seems a little too sour or tart. And in general, I like my vetiver to be earthy, rooty, you know, like a darker, things like that. But there are times I do like fresh vetivers, and this almost was that. But the fact that it's a little on the sour side just kind of went to the bottom of the list. So that's Linen Vetiver, Banana Republic, and a great one. And the price for this one is currently at the discounters for about $25. Another great one. A really, really great price for vetiver fragrances. So this next one is probably the very first vetiver fragrance I ever wore back in the late 90s. It's Guerlain's Vetiver, this one right here. I wore a lot of this stuff. First wore it in a different bottle, the square bottle that's kind of frosted, and then after that it was, you know, kind of history. But with this one you have a vetiver, tobacco, bergamot, lemon, nutmeg. This was launched quite a while ago. Was it the 60s? I think it was the 60s. I could be wrong though. That might be Habit Rouge, but whatever the date was, it's a great classy vetiver. It's citrusy but not as sour as the Banana Republic. The citruses adds this freshness to the fragrance. There's a little bit of spiciness in there with the nutmeg, and there is a tobacco note in here, but it just complements the vetiver very nice. It's an earthy vetiver, and a darker take, but not as dark as the Encre Noire of LALIQUE Encre Noire. But this one can be found for about $32 for a 100 ml bottle. So again, under $50, great price for a very classy vetiver. Just one more thing mentioned about linen vetiver. I find this to be a very unisex vetiver. In fact, right down the middle. But here we go with masculine again, and this one's definitely classy and masculine and perfect for a gentleman to wear. So this is GUERLAIN vetiver from the house of GUERLAIN, a great one for you to try. This next one is CARVEN vetiver. This one right here, 100 ml goes for $45. Now this one I put above GUERLAIN. It's because that GUERLAIN I'm a bit tired of. There is another GUERLAIN in the list though. Stay tuned. There's 2 more GUERLAINs in the list. But CARVEN vetiver has been around for quite some time as well. This is probably the 3rd or 4th incarnation of their vetiver, the latest one. And this one is vetiver, lemongrass, bergamot, cedarwood, benzoin. Great fragrance. It's a fresher take on vetiver, still masculine leaning, has earthiness to the vetiver, but that lemongrass and the bergamot brighten things up. It's not so dark and inky like the LALIQUE Encre Noire. In fact, this is fresher than the GUERLAIN vetiver to me. And then there's also a little bit of cedarwood and a slight bit of vanillic touch in there from the benzoin resin. But a great classy vetiver. It's a good one to have if you're kind of tired of LALIQUE Encre Noire, GUERLAIN vetiver, then this is another one for you to try. For under $50 for 100 ml, I think it's definitely a winner. So that's CARVEN vetiver, the latest version. There are multiple versions out there still you can find. And this next one is another LALIQUE Encre Noire flanker, and this is the Sport Edition. Now this one I put up here because I really like this one more than the original Eau de Toilette. And this one I like because it's vetiver, cypress, and lots of grapefruit, watery notes, and a great, I guess I would say it's a sporty take on the vetiver, but it's not necessarily a sport fragrance. It's just a fresh take on vetiver, one that's simpler to wear, and perhaps it's not as dark and inky like the original Encre Noire, which came after the original, this one did. So this one you can get away with wearing in the summertime. In fact, I think all these fragrances are pretty all year round kind of fragrances. Just, you know, control your sprays depending on what kind of temperatures out there. But this one is a great vetiver. I love it, and I love it because it reminds me of a discontinued vetiver from the house of Annick Goutal. That was a top-notch vetiver for me. So if I don't have that one, even though I do have a backup bottle of it, this one is a cheap alternative. You can find this for about $23 at latest or last checking recently for 100 ml. Great price, under $50 for a classy vetiver. You can't go wrong with this one. So this is LALIQUE Encre Noire Sport, and that is at number 6. All right, going to the house of GUERLAIN again. We've got 2 more, or 1 more after this. This is GUERLAIN Homme Le Boisé. So this one is vetiver, of course, but I think lime and vetiver are kind of competing with one another depending on which one is the more, you know, a standout note. I think they're pretty equal though. It's a great fresh take on vetiver. Fresh, there's some minty notes in there, lots of woody notes, and also the lime. It's different compared to like bergamot. Bergamot and lime do smell different, and that's what makes this very unique for me, and that's why it's above some of the other fragrances, or further up to the top. And there's just a great quality fragrance. It's like a fragrance I had in the old bottle. I used it up, but now I'm just like in love with it, and I can't get enough of the way this one smells. It's unique. It's different vetiver. It's a fresher vetiver, still masculine enough with the vetiver and woody notes in here to make it, you know, masculine. Very classy. And again, it's from the house of GUERLAIN, a very luxurious house that's been around since the early 1800s. So if you don't know this one, definitely check it out. I do have a comparison of this with their original offering, HOMME, GUERLAIN HOMME. This is HOMME Le Boisé, and this one can be found for about $35 at the discounters. Another great one, under $50, and you can't go wrong with this one. It's amazing. So check it out. It's HOMME Le Boisé from GUERLAIN, and that's at number 5. At number 4, going to the house of Essential Parfums, and this is Homme Vetiver, this one right here. Homme Vetiver is a great fresh take on vetiver again. Still classy and masculine, and still more masculine leaning than unisex, but I think it's very close to the middle where both of the genders should be able to appreciate it. In fact, this is a unisex targeted fragrance. Every single other one except for the Banana Republic was masculine targeted, and the Banana Republic is unisex. This one has notes of gin, vetiver, lime, juniper berry, lavender. It's a fresh take on it, and the gin gives it a very sparkly a fresh aromatic take on the vetiver, and I think the gin along with the juniper, since juniper and gin is made with juniper, complement one another, so it gives a very kind of a spicy aromatic quality to the fragrance, of course with the lavender added in there as well, and that lime, again we got lime. It's a great fragrance. Now this is on the pricier side. This is the $75 fragrance that's on this list, and the next one is a little pricey too, but everything else on the list is under $50. A great release. This is a great house. Check it out, Essential Parfums. I do have a video focusing on all of their fragrances except for the latest one that they just launched, the vanilla, that you should check out if you're curious about them. And you can get this niche fragrance for $75 from Lucky Scent or from their own website. This is a 100 ml bottle, and it's Homme Vetiver from Essential Parfums. The next one at number 3 is Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. So this one is the priciest fragrance on the list, including pricier than the Essential Parfum. But there are discounts for this one, and at 50 ml I recently found for $67. So it is definitely less than the Essential Parfums if you wanted to go with a 50 ml bottle. 100 ml would probably be more like $100 at the discounters, so I'm putting in the 50 ml. But if you're a fan of Tom Ford, you might really dig this one. This is all about vetiver, woody notes, grapefruit, oak moss, orange blossom. It's a fresh take on vetiver, and it's a great one. It has to be up at the top. It is Tom Ford quality. It is classy. It's sophisticated, and of course, I think even though it's men's targeted, I think women can totally pull this one off. It's rooty, earthy, not necessarily dark and inky, but still very earthy from that rooty kind of vetiver kind of grassy smell. So Tom Ford Grey Vetiver, a great one. The most expensive in the collection, especially if you will get a 100 ml, because it'll be more than $75, but a 50 ml can be found currently at the discounters for about $67. Next is Guerlain Vetiver Extreme at number 2. A 100 ml bottle of this can be found for about $35. It's a little more than the Guerlain Vetiver, which is about $33 or something like that. $32, $33, $33, $32, somewhere around there. But Guerlain Vetiver Extreme is a great alternative to the original Guerlain Vetiver. If you've been wearing Guerlain Vetiver a lot and you got bored of it, this is a great flanker. There's not too much of a change. You're still smelling very similar things, but there is that tarragon note in here and a little bit of licorice and there's some incense note to kind of give it a unique twist. Not too much of a twist, just a little noticeable twist, but it's mostly about the vetiver still here. Even though it also says Vetiver Extreme, it's not necessarily ultra extreme. It's just extreme enough to notice a difference in the little note breakdown and the smell. But it's vetiver, incense, tarragon, black pepper, licorice. Really, really great quality. The green is a little more neonish kind of green compared to the original vetiver also, but it's mostly the same fragrance. And as I said, this one's a great one for $35, 100 ml bottle. So it's a no-brainer, a great quality fragrance for under $100, in fact under $50. So that is Guerlain Vetiver Extreme at number 2. And my number 1 favorite, inexpensive or under $75 vetiver fragrance is from the house of LALIQUE again. And this is LALIQUE ENCRE Noir à l'extrême, and a 100 ml bottle you can buy for $30. Vetiver, incense, cypress, elemi resin, benzoin, patchouli, class all the way. This is the classiest. To me, this one has a couple of things going for it that's unique. There's a little bit of a oudi-like quality, and I think it's coming from elemi resin. There's a little bit of wood shavings kind of a quality, almost like incense wood shavings. That's also in here, kind of like Comme des Garçons Kyoto fragrance that is an incense fragrance, but it smells like wood chippings, wood shavings. So those are all happening in here. And this one actually also smells really, really close to Sycamore by Chanel. So if you want a Chanel Sycamore alternative, go with this one. It's so much cheaper. 100 ml bottle for $30 from the house of LALIQUE. Anyway, that's my list of vetiver fragrances that are under $75, guys. Do you have these fragrances? Do you like them? Do you even like vetiver? What time of the year do you love to wear vetiver? For me, the best times are rainy days. It's something about them makes them moist and kind of interesting, humid with my body heat. Just that combination is really awesome. When I'm walking around in the rain, it's a little wet and moist and a steamy kind of experience. That vetiver just kind of comes alive, I think. But most any time, I think it's an all year round fragrance, especially if you're a businessman and you like to dress up and you want to be classy and smell great. These are great. And of course, if you're on a budget, because a lot of these are definitely inexpensive, but very, very top-notch fragrances. Really, really quality fragrances for you guys to have. Anyway, let me know if you have a favorite vetiver fragrance that's inexpensive that I have not mentioned. Please put it down. I'd like to find out for a future updated video. Also, let me know if you like these fragrances and if you have them. Otherwise, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.